Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So inshallah ta'ala, everybody Ramadan, man, their fast, their ibadah, their good deeds. Inshallah, everything is going well. Alhamdulillah. And this month of Ramadan, man, this month, like I said, man, it has been a month of deep reflection. Deep reflection. And through learning the deen and different aspects of studying, I'm starting to finally be in tune with the signs of Allah. And when Allah is trying to tell me something, not like misconceptions or misreading. I'm talking about not like me trying to read something. I'm like really when Allah is trying to show me something. Right? And I'm starting to understand why some of my family is so upset with me. Man, I love being Muslim, man. Not only my family, man, but some of my friends, people that I grew up with. See, man, Allah been showing me something. He put something in perspective for me, right? Like I've never been a person that had low self-esteem, but I never thought highly of myself. You see what I'm saying? Like I never was conceited in my mind. Some people may feel that I was, because I may have been stern on a position and firm on it. But what Allah has showed me this month, and this is why I'm starting to understand why they upset with me, because people feel like I abandoned them. I mean, like family, everybody. You know what I mean? And when I take a look at a lot of things, when I was on people's side, or like with me and people like throughout life as children and growing up, family members, cousins, brothers, not everybody, but some people that I was next to, once our separation came about, they took an entirely different route. Like I was the level head. I kept people out of stuff. Kinda, sorta. And once I was gone, and once people was trying to stop me from leaving, and I realized then, what the feeling and what Allah is showing me now. Even with the Muslims, and wallahi, I'm not trying to say this, I'm not trying to big myself up, because I don't think this way about myself. But people do feel like, bruh, you can change the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a missing piece to the puzzle. You have access to what everybody needs, this, that, and the third. So many people who done sat next to me like, man, I just need to be around some of your character rub off on me. Things going on at the masjid. They just met somebody call Yasin. Somebody call Yasin. Somebody call Yasin. Have them come up here, man. I need them. And what Allah has showed me this month, man, is that My presence is needed, but it's not wanted. You know what I'm saying? My presence is needed, but it's not wanted. You see what I'm saying? And Allah is showing me that because now I understand, like I say, why some of my family is upset and feel like I abandoned them, because even as a youngin', my presence was needed, but it wasn't wanted. It wasn't wanted. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can see the difference that you make in people's life. But if you're not boastful about it, or you not doing it from where they feel like they're manipulating you, like they in control, like you not just doing this, or they want to see it from a different point of view, you make a difference in their life. And it's not that you looking for mistakes or this and that. You may see some people who may be doing some things, you know, like that's at a disadvantage to them. And you could point it right out to them. You know, I had to sit with a person yesterday that done made, for real, about a $5,000 mistake by listening to the wrong people. But at the same time, not only by listening to the wrong people, trying their hardest not to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Not only listening to the wrong people who's taking advantage of them, but trying their hardest not to listen to me. When I'm telling them what's right. But instead of telling them what they want to hear and gaslighting them, and to keep making mistakes where I could benefit off of them. But they had these paperworks, we just going to call it, it's similar to a contract. It's something that could be held up in a court of law. And in this contract that they have, the contract is set up for them to take losses. Several losses. And these particular contracts, I know how to read. Right? And off of this contract, I pointed out one key mistake to this person. But listening to the wrong people and not wanting to listen to me say, yeah, I know that's in that contract like that. But this is what I do. I deal with people. I done dealt with several other people with the same contract. But these was people who didn't know how to read contracts. And I said, you don't want to change that? No, this is what I do. But this is the same person, how we sitting down. You done made a $5,000-$6,000 mistake. Something that's going to cost you about $5,000-$6,000. But it was free to listen. It wasn't like they spent money to mess this up or they was gambling. This is a mistake that's finna cost them $5,000-$6,000. When they have children, they could have fed their children with that. When you poor, when you like me, man, you know what I could do with $5,000-$6,000? $5,000-$6,000 is a lot of money for me. You see what I'm saying? $5,000-$6,000, that's a lot of money for me. And I'm trying to help them. But even with this and that, they still didn't want to change. I said, hey, all right. But I realized my presence is needed, but it's not wanted. Another person, similar situation, man, trying to get some work done. And I'm sitting, but I'm there while the work is being done. I'm there when these people show up, and I'm trying to tell them, man, these people ripping you off, man. They finna rip you off. But they don't want to listen, man. because I just think I know everything. I think this, I think that. But for real, people have some resentment towards me because they feel like when I was a child or when I was younger, I abandoned them. But in reality, so yeah, these is family members. But in reality, these was people that I needed to get away from, man. They held me back, man. They held me back. Like, man, I love being Muslim, man. Like, let me break something down to y'all, man. I want y'all to look at society. I want y'all to look at the reality and look at where society is headed, man. Right now, for African Americans, male and female, you know what's going to keep the people single and in relationship problems? Social media, man. Social media. You got girls crying in cars. But she's never going to admit what she did to make her guy do what he did. You got dudes on the internet, but he's also not going to admit what he did to make her do what she did. But everybody is coming off emotionally like dating experts. You got the no contact. People trying to do no contact. Everybody's a dismissive avoidant. Everybody has bipolar. Everybody got this. And very few experts. But everybody is telling people what they shouldn't do or who they shouldn't be with, but as opposed to how they should. So the internet is just full of information that break relationships but not fix them. How to make someone obsess over you. How to make a man obsess over you as opposed to how to make the relationship work. Oh, I want this person to be obsessed over me and I want to be obsessed over them, but we not together for 10 years and we with other people. That's stupid, man. And me going into that is just saying, man, just look at our society and look at where we headed. People who want help and need help don't want your help. It's like they'll try to punish you and dismiss you for helping them. So, me growing up in this type of environment, man, and with Allah blessing me with Islam, man, but like I say, some of my homies, like, wallahi, man, wallahi. Even some people in my family. Because when we was younger and we started to gravitate towards the street on whatever level it was, hustling, whatever it was. But sometimes I was that person right there that said, hey, don't go over there. Don't go there with them. Don't do this and this. And wallahi, after all of them went to prison, and after all of them, the ones who got shot, and then when I had to sit in a room with them, after they went through all this, they was mad at me. But guess why they was mad at me? One, they felt like I was the one true person that abandoned them when they needed me. Had I stuck by them, they wouldn't have got it. They wouldn't have made the decisions that they made. And then two, they was mad at me because I didn't go through the same thing. And this is not me speculating. This is them telling me to my face. Even to the point where some of them sitting up saying, I can't wait for you to go to prison. But this was a situation of I didn't know how to process it. My presence was needed, but it wasn't wanted. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to be told this. And just me being a caring person trying to say, look, you making a costly mistake. But they want to keep listening to the wrong people. And then the key thing is not wanting to listen to me. wanting me to be wrong or wanting to prove to me the wrong or saying stuff like, you always think you're right. No, I don't think that. But this situation, like, look what ended up happening with you. But then it's my fault. You wasn't all in. And Allah really showed me that again. He put it in perspective for me. Allahu Alam. Your presence is needed, man. Like, these people really need you. But they don't want you, man. But they know a part of them need you. But instead of calling needing you, they need to position their mind through manipulative tactics to feel like they're using me instead. I don't really need you, but I'm just going to use you. And they be family members, man. And it be costly mistakes. And then the sad part is, they call themselves trying to hurt me. Because me walking away or making certain decisions not to involve myself in certain things with them, they take that as abandonment, man. As abandonment. So, a lot of deep reflection, man. A lot of deep reflection, man. And Allah showed me that. Even like this is a crazy part. And wallahi, I'm not trying to be funny. Even with the Muslims. It's your fault that the community is this way. You confused everybody. But on the other hand, you're the one who can fix it. We need you to come do this, this, and this. Your presence is needed, but it's not wanted. What do you do in circumstances like that, man? What do you do in circumstances like that? You just allow people who are accustomed to making bad decisions, right? You just let them go ahead and make their own decisions, man. And then you just continue to be the victim, man. And why I'm saying that I love being Muslim, because a lot of my decisions, man, even the mistakes that I made, what make me turn away, it was always that deen, man. It was always that deen. So I had a homie. And this is one of the new things, man. This is something where Allah is showing me something again. I had a homie, man. This was my man. He even lived in our house, man, as a shorty. He ran around the house, like, even if I wasn't there, my parents let him come and go. Right? It's my dude. And I was the same way in his parents' house. So he had a little brother. Well, he has a little brother. Like, I remember when dude was born and this and that. But anyway, he comes to our job. He gets hired where I work at. But I don't tell him I know him. He been out there a couple of months. But me and my homie, I ain't gonna say we fell out. We still cool, but it's the lifestyle changes. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, me going this Islamic route and they going a different route, it's the lifestyle change. Right? So I'm checking the, just peeping out his little brother style. But behind the scenes, I'm making sure he cool. That they not bothering him on the job. Because like I said, I remember when he was born. You know what I'm saying? But I don't tell him who I am. I walk up to him, I like, what's up, what's up? We speak. But I don't tell him that I know who he is. And he was young to the point where he not recognizing who I am. So me just being that natural protector or whatever, and I know the people who cause people problems on jobs, dude cool, man, don't bother him. Behind the scenes. So his older brother, like I say, is my guy though. He's one of the same people. When we was coming up, when he ended up going to prison, he was the same person who told me to my face, man, that he was mad at me, man, because I ain't go to prison, man. I said, no, you mad at me because you didn't listen to me, bro. And now you want me to experience what you experienced, or hoping that I experience it. because you experienced, but we cut from two different cloths. You know what I'm saying? But he told me two things though. One, I avoided you intentionally. You was the one person that I didn't want to see when I came home. And he's crying in my face. And he told me, because I knew you was going to be the very person to tell me everything you telling me right now. Because after I set up around him, he been home about 8 months. And I'm at work and somebody come into the job and they tell me, dude, right around the corner. I'm like, okay, when I get off work, I go around there and spin on him. And I kicked it with him every day for about a week. And then after about a week, I said to him, hey, man, what are you doing, man? Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? I ain't going to go into a lot of details because I care about him. And I see what he doing to himself, man. And he starts crying. And he said, that's why I avoided you, man. You, wallahi, you the very person I've been avoiding seeing, man. Because I knew you was going to be the very person to tell me the stuff that you telling me right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's telling me he also mad at me because I ain't go to prison. He wishing prison on me. You know what I'm saying? He felt abandoned. Right? So I'm moving around, little time passed. His father, I'm going to the little Muslim spot to get some chicken or whatever. His father come in. His father just smiling ear to ear. Because I'm like a second son to him. And I see his pops, man. I'm hugging him, man. I hugged him like 3 times. Wallahi, tell him I love him, everything. So he like, I tell him, man, I be seeing your younger son out there at the job. I ain't told him who I am yet. I just be peeping out his little style, making sure he cool, nobody bother him and this and that. So he's like, yeah, well, my other son out there too. So then he like, man, when the last time you talked to my homie? I was like, man, it's been about a year and something. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, yeah, dude just bought an Escalade, woo out the woo, and this and that. So feel me though, feel me. So me and him, we part, we go on our ways. 2 days later, so I'm seeing this cycle. First the younger brother comes out there. So when he tell me his middle son out there too, I'm clocked in, I'm walking. This just 3-4 days ago. I hear him yelling my name. Sooner. So if it ain't no Muslims or people who close enough to me, they're not gonna call me Sooner. So depending on what a person call me, like if they call me Slick or this and that, I know from what era they knew me as. So when he's like Sooner, and I look back and then he jump out the truck, it's the other brother. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm surprised you recognize me. He was like, man, I've been seeing you so many times. I be trying to catch you, this and that. So long story short, I exchanged numbers with him because he asked me the same thing. When the last time you talked to dude? Man, it's been over a year. He's like, man, that's sad. That's sad, man. Exchanged numbers with him. So yesterday, I come into some small forms of, I'm going to refer to it as that, small forms of communication with my homie. Now keep in mind, what I'm leaving out, which I'm finna get into this, and it's just a little Ramadan chat, man. And maybe this will help some people, take a look at your life journey, man. You know what I'm saying? But, and this is deep reflection, man. This is what Allah has been showing me, man. My presence be needed. Not like I'm all that, not like I could change anybody, but my presence is needed. But it's not wanted, man. It's not wanted. You see what I'm saying? So, me and a brother, yes, he was Muslim. But he was Muslim when we was kids, kind of through the gang culture. Right? So like later on in life, when I went and got him, when I went around him for that week, we ended up setting up a bond. I'm only here for a minute because I'm going through I'm basically trying to get custody of my child. But I'm finna move. So I start taking him to the next city over. Look, man, come over here. I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna introduce you to some people. We gonna get hired. Look, I got a plug. We gonna get hired at this job. I'm trying to change his life because I see what he going through. But he wants to come up. Then he has a cousin, because it's a college town. He got a cousin in college over there. We go link with the cousin, who's a female. So what comes to his mind? Street stuff. Nah, bruh. I'm not finna do that. I'm far removed from that. You got to keep in mind, he coming home from prison. Right? But this is still fairly early. This is like 1999. Alright? 2000. Now it's 2000. Well, from end of 99 to journeying into 2000. So, he make his decision, I make mine. He went back to prison. I changed my life. Started businesses while I was still working. You know, got my dean up. But I had a lapse when I went to college. I started dealing with being a 5%er. And this is how we end up having our little interaction. So, he come back from prison. Okay. In a little town, a lot of people know me. Right? So, he comes back from prison. He get out of prison and he comes back to this town with this girl. I get a phone call. He don't even know that I know he's in town. He's been there about 2 months. Fresh out of prison. I get a phone call in the middle of the night that he's over there harming this girl. So I pop up. He don't even know that I know he's there. So I pop up, walk in the house. He got the girl bent all over the sink. So I gotta grab him. He's shocked that I know he's there. What you doing, man? What are you doing? Another one of those talks. He's crying. What are you doing, man? Come on, man. What are you doing? Especially being that, not trying to be funny, but this female isn't melanated. What are you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? So the resentment is there, though. Well, man, you didn't do that. It's still my fault because he didn't make the same choice I made. You had a business, man. You could have did this for me. You could have did this and that. You didn't want no parts of it. I tried to make you a partner. We could do this together. You didn't want to do your half. So anyway, but while I go to college, I ended up dealing with the 5%ers. I started becoming a 5%er. In prison, he did too. So now we connect on the 5% level, but I'm taking him to the classes, showing him the classes. So a few days ago, now keep in mind, when I leave it alone and go back to real Islam, me and him bumped heads again. When I come back here, he's here, same stuff. I go find him again, get him again. Get him to retake his shahada, start taking him to the masjid. Basically, long story short, one of the brothers here who grew up with him lost a debate against one of the members of the Nation of Islam at the barbershop. And right now, the same person think he's, I ain't gonna do that. So he calls me while the debate is going on. while I'm on the phone. Man, you got to come up here. You got to come up here. This dude is confusing everybody and this and that. I said, man, I'm not going up there, man. I didn't want to have no parts of it. So after it's all over with, he decides to leave Islam. Because listening to this guy, he was like, no, this can't be what Islam is. So I'm talking to him. So then he was like, man, Jesus, and So I'm like, all right, cool. Now keep in mind, we was a 5%ers. We toyed with it. So we have a little communication. All this comes full circle. We had this communication. He got him a decent little job. Right? It's this girl who's going through a world of confusion, and she's looking for some spirituality. Grew up with her, real cool. Wallahi. And she's also cool with one of the Muslim sisters. She want to be Muslim, but she feel like she's not good enough. And there's been times when she been wanting me to come sit with her, but I've never do it. I've never done it. To really explain Islam and do things a certain type of way, not by myself, like even in a group setting. Or one time we was going to go talk, but everybody who could be around, it fell apart. And then she kind of changed her mind. Got in touch with me a couple of times, but she really do want to be Muslim. But she just feel like her ways and her life ain't good enough. So now she's trying to toy with the 5%ers. So this is how I bump into him. It's like Allah done brought me full circle from his brothers to his fathers, now right back to him. And like when I seen this little brother, it prepared me. I'm going to bump into this guy. You know what I'm saying? And when we talked a year ago, it was like, man, we need to get together. We need to do this and that. But he was talking the wrong way. So I never went and hooked up with him. I never kicked it with him. You know what I'm saying? So he's the next city over. So, just to wrap it up, he's trying to he's toying with the 5% stuff again. And now this is bringing some confusion to her. But so when we get to chopping it up, and I'm peeping his lifestyle, man, and this is what, like I said, man, Allah, not everywhere, but man, my presence be needed, man. But it's not wanted. It's not wanted. You know what I'm saying? And so now that I'm having some interactions with him, he got a little job, but he's breaking himself, man, with all this debt, trying to have this jewelry and these cars. His preference. Live your life. But he's complaining about it. But he don't want to stop doing it because this is what he feel like is making him cool. And people look at me because, man, I ride around in a raggedy car. I ride around in a dirty car. I ride around, like I say, man, my house will be minor, man. I ain't got to have none of that. I done had all that. And it wasn't like I lost it and fell off. I gave things up and started choosing Islam, and that's why I love being Muslim. But while I'm around him, he's reminding me of my other homie. Now, both of them older than me. Hat all to the left, still representing Vice Lord. Older than me. So in his 50s. Different colored jewelries on. And I'm not saying this to make fun of him. Just like my other homie. Got him a cup. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have to understand, I'm at work though. Okay? I got on my Muslimatic. People who know Chicago, they know the Muslimatic University clothing. I got on my Muslimatic thing, my kufi. So I'm talking to him through the FaceTime. He slizzard, got his cup. You know what I'm saying? Talking about he got a CD coming out. or he finna be on iTunes or something. And I ain't knocking it. I'm like, cool. But I'm looking at it, man, and I'm sitting up saying, but it ain't nothing but misery in his face. And he trying to mask it behind an Escalade that he can't afford. Furniture and stuff that he making payments and stuff on in the house that they wanting to come knock on the door and take. You know what I'm saying? Had all like this, sunglasses and, all this, and fake stuff, man. I'm looking at him, I'll be like, man, Allahu Akbar, man, that could have been me. So I'm sitting up saying to him, man, why you still playing with that 5% of stuff? No, God, you got to understand, God, woo out the woo. I said, so you listen to a Muslim in a debate lose to a Nation of Islam member, and then you had a problem with accepting that Jesus wasn't God, right? Man, the Quran, Islam teach that Jesus ain't God, but you perfectly okay with some stuff that's saying that the black man is God, and now you a God? You okay with that? But this is just some more stuff you latching on because you still trying to be cool. You in your second childhood, like they say. And all this stuff, man, this same behavior has been ruining your life since we was kids, man. Since we was kids, bro. You in your 50s still chasing it, man. Still chasing it, bro. Just like my other homie. It's Ramadan, and I'm looking at you, a Muslim, with different golds on and fake diamonds and earrings this big and glasses with, And I'm not making fun of him. I'm not talking down on him, but he's complaining about his life, man. He complaining about his life. And you know what he said to me, man? I knew you was going to do this to me, man. I knew you was going to do this to me. But I'm only saying something to him because he complaining. Man, my girl, man, life, man. This why he drunk and he smoking and all this. And he got all, man, I got all this, man. These people, man, they ain't my real friends. They just around because they want to ride. But that's why you got all that stuff, because you want that. See, me, I don't have none of that, bruh. It ain't that I can't have it. I don't have none of that. And guess what? Ain't nobody around me, man. Ain't nobody around me. You done went to the penitentiary for fake friends. You done did things to people for fake friends and then they turned their back on you. But the only genuine person that was there for you, no circumstances, no this and that, is the one who's trying to do something to you, bro. I mean, I'm always ill-advising you, but it's, man, you left me out there, man. You left me out there. Still mad at me, man. And he's older than me. And it's me just telling that story, man, but I'm looking at that, man, and so, he tried to tell me his social media stuff, and I go look at his social media, man, and I just see it was crazy, man. Just to go look at his pictures and stuff. And I'm not knocking it, but I say, man, I thank Allah, man, because it could have been me. Outside, he's looking like what society tells you to look like. Not at a 50-something-year-old. He looked like the 20-year-olds. But this was always his thing, man. Sometimes, man, we just have to learn to break certain cycles and certain mentalities, man. I remember one time when we was shorties. Not necessarily shorties. We was in our 20s, though. And they had these jeans. They was $1,200 a piece. And like I say, because he was always going to jail, or I'm always moving. I'm always living in different cities. I left, man, as a kid, man. Fresh out of high school, I got up out of here. One of the first places I moved to was Kankakee, which is right outside of Chicago. I moved to Kankakee. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get it how I live. So, when I see him, He got 5-6 pair of these jeans. Man, he's $1,000 piece. He throwing them on the ground. He treating them this and that. So while we chilling, and at this particular time, because the way I'm moving and this and that, I go in, I pull out $6,000. And I told him, show me $6,000. He didn't even have $200. You know what I'm saying? You got $6,000, bro? No. Why would I be impressed with them jeans, man? I don't want none of that. I still had on some Dickies and a t-shirt. I got on some Dickies and a t-shirt. See me? I would rather have $6,000. You would rather be broke with $6,000 worth of pants. Because you need that to have friends. You need that to get girls. I don't. And then when you end up in penitentiary and somebody else had to take care of you because you hustling for $6,000 jeans, man. It's not worth it, man. But it was that deen in me, man. It was that deen in me, man. I thank Allah, man. Wallahi, man. I love being Muslim, man. And more than love being Muslim, I love practicing Islam, man. I love practicing Islam, man. And when I do my reflection, I reflect on me. I reflect on all the mistakes I made in my life. And I reflect on the mistakes that I still make. And I love that brother, man. Wallahi. And like, it almost make me want to cry, man, to see that brother in that state, man. And but on the outside to this world we in, it looks good to the people, but it's a facade, man. It's superficial. Inside, he's breaking. And this is why he gotta get drunk. This is why he gotta smoke. You turned your back on this deen, man. And now you looking to me. Help me, man. That's what it's. Help me, bro. Come save me, man. You see me, man. And I'm sitting up saying, I've never been able to save you, bro. I've never been able to save you. You know why? Because my presence was always needed, but it was never wanted, man. It was never wanted. You know what I'm saying? And now, because I'm not going to make the choices to kick it with them and do this and that, I think I'm better. You the one with all the stuff. I ride around in a hoopty every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I come in here, like for people who don't know, this right here, these is cushions on the floor. This may look like a couch. Man, I'm on the floor, bro. I got a table specially cut that fits right in front of him, man. In a musala area. Books. Area to pray. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fancy furnitures and knickknacks and all that type of stuff, man. Ain't no fancy expensive clothes. Thobes and army fatigues. T-shirts. Long john shirts, stuff that I work in, man. I don't have none of that, bruh. I ain't got no fancy cooking materials, no fancy pots and microwaves and all the latest, no latest gadgets, or none of that. I'm going to show y'all something right now. And a Muslim, right here, this is an iPhone. Because what's going on with my phone, that one of the Muslims gave me this iPhone 17 to use. I ain't never had an iPhone a day in my life. I still, it's certain stuff I still can't even do right on this mug, but one of the Muslims, man, gave me this to use. And it's on their account. It's not even my phone, man. So I don't have none of the latest or none of that. But I'm so happy, man. And all these people that I be seeing, they still trying to keep up and chase it, man, even as Muslims. Man, alhamdulillah, man. So I just wanted to talk about that, man. Maybe I needed to just get it out. But it's been this is what's been going on my Ramadan, man. Allah has been allowing me to see things with clarity, man. With clarity. Like, bro, your presence, but people be telling me, man, the people need you, this and that. But see, the people not gonna listen, man. It ain't a matter if they need me, do they want me? They want me to be around to soak up off of me, so they can walk around and pretend to be me. I'm not saying everybody. Man, let me rub some of your character, man. Let me absorb some of your ways, so I can go around and have the people think that I'm you. You see what I'm saying? Some of your ways, some of your demeanors. I don't do the fake stuff, man. I don't live a fake life. You see what I'm saying? And I'm looking at my Daki. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't live a fake life, man. Like I said, man, you know, and I'm not judging them. I'm not making fun of them. But for me, this is something, man, for me to thank Allah Azza wa Jal that I didn't end up like that, man. And my heart bleed for them, man, that they had to go to prison and do that, man. But sometimes it's like I recall it, man, survivor's remorse, man. And I love being Muslim, man. I love being Muslim. You know, last week, man, I had jumped up and it was early. Was it a Sunday? Early, like Saturday morning or something. I went to go get some lamb meat because I hadn't been eating any meat. So this was like Saturday. I went to go get some lamb meat for that evening because I knew I was finna go on all liquids and stuff, and then to the fruits, and then back to the liquids. So let me get a little lamb meat. I hadn't really been eating any meat for real up until that point. So I jump up and I go to the Walmart here has halal lamb meat, which it really is certified halal lamb meat, right? Official, like you could check it and all of that if they have it. So I go there to go to the Walmart, man, and it was this girl, man. It was the same thing. I grew up with her, and I remember she used to play all these games with men and, you know, with the boys. You know, because I guess she felt like, you know, she was cute or whatever. You know, I would possibly say maybe she thought more of herself than what other people thought. You know, I ain't going to say nothing about her features, but I think in her mind, I think she thought a little bit more of herself than what other people thought. Not necessarily me, but other people. Right? So, you know, she used to try to play games with men and think she could treat them any way and manipulate them, thinking she was going to be like this forever. She's also older than me. But I seen her, and, you know, she was working out there. You know, this ain't no diss to her, but, like, she done gained a whole lot of weight, and she had, like, these big, they looked like paintbrushes on her eyes, and this wig with some gray in it. Well, I didn't even realize who it was, man. And it was like she walked with a limp. I'm not making fun of her. And I just threw that crack, man. I could see that crack in her esteem, man. And, you know, just thinking that you could play with men and all this and that. And I'm pretty sure she could have been settled down, man. But, like, now that she done reached that stage, man, and that stage of loneliness, the reality is really kicking in. Because she thought she was going to be able to play with men her whole life, man. That was her backup plan. To play men. Some man is going to save me. Some man is going to pay my bills. Some man is going to do this. That was always, a man was always her backup plan. And like I say, sometimes you got to use yourself to use men, man. And that does stuff to people's soul. And it was like she was soulless, man. And wallahi, at one point in time, she wanted to be Muslim too. She was dealing with a Muslim dude from Atlanta. And they had reached out to me and inboxed me. Right? And I told them Well, they already knew where I lived. I told them when I go to work and that I'm going to put a Quran and some books in my mailbox. Daki. So I told her, and this is through Facebook messages at this time. This was probably in 2010, 11, maybe. Yeah, like 2010, 2011, somewhere around then. But I told them, and but they was married to like a Christian dude at the time, but they was going their separate ways. This is my book. I'm gonna put them in the mailbox. This is what time I go to work, so you could come get them out of the mailbox. So I'm not seeing her or nothing. So then I know if they come get the books, they at least have some seriousness about it. If they don't, I'll put them back in the house. I get off work, come back, the books is gone. So they started reading the Quran. They were sending me, and they was taking notes and stuff. So they was ready to take their shahada. Right? Then whatever went on, you know, I lost contact with them. Well, really, they could have just reached out to me, but I wasn't reaching out to them. They just never said anything, so I never said nothing. But they wanted to be Muslim, man. And when I seen them, and I just seen like that little bit of, it was like they had some shame in their face because they thought they was gonna be able to play with men their whole life, man. And you know, and like they say, man, if your face and your body is your tool for men, like they say, man, what you gonna do when all that fade, man? You gonna just keep looking for weaker men and weaker men? And I know at one point they even started trying to get young guys because these young guys wasting money and this, that, and the third. But them young guys got a different mentality. You think you put yourself in a position to be ran through before. You think you finna put something on one of these little young cats, you know. So Allah Akbar, man. You know, man, Allah just been showing me a lot, man. And you know, I hated to see that. And wallahi, I didn't say nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? I seen them, and then I just seen like that little look in their face, and they just put their head down like this. I ain't shaking my head. I didn't look bad at them. I didn't even have no dirty look. I wasn't even looking at them. Wallahi, I didn't even know it was them. I didn't even know it was them. I had seen them from a distance because they done gained so much weight and they had these big eyelashes and they had like this gray wig thing on. I didn't even know it was them. It was just at that moment when they put their face down, I was like, dang. You know, man, Allahu Akbar, man. And, you know, of course, in my head, I could say, man, well, what if I would have had pushed and they became Muslim? But I'm going to be honest, I didn't take them serious, man. Because they was, in my head, because I knew their mentality, they thought they was somebody who could just play with men, and men is going to do what they don't want. I mean, you know, they just going to talk men into doing everything that they don't want to do for themselves. But they need a man who's weak. They need a man that they're not going to get attracted to or attached to like that. Somebody they can hook without getting hooked. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that they can play with that won't play with them. And, you know, as a Muslim man with certain responsibilities, so I didn't take it serious, man. And then to see all these years later, you know, man, Allahu Akbar, man. So it was another thing, man. Sometimes, man, your presence is needed, man, but it's not necessarily wanted. What are you going to do, man? Choose Islam, man. You know, Allah makes Muslims, man. But sometimes you have to look at those situations, man, and see the sadness in those situations. And it's not that I'm going to be happy for myself, but it's like, man, Allahu Akbar, man. I never chased that, man. I never chased it, man. You know. It's just sad, man. It's sad, man. And it made me put myself in a position, and this is what I really wanted to get to, man. and I'm sorry, this video is long for anybody who make it this far. I sat back, man, and thought, and I was reading, because like I said, I was at work when I talked to the brother, and all this was just everything that's been going on, everything I've been seeing this whole month. It just been playing through my head, man, during the month of Ramadan, right? Even the situations like that led up before Ramadan starting, how, I'm not going to say anything, but how a particular Muslim pulled some dishonest little moves, man, and they know that they did. They know what they did, but try to shift some type of energy towards me like I did something wrong. And it's right before Ramadan getting ready to start, where I'm finna try to do some classes, and they pulled a little stunt, man, and it didn't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make no sense to me, but that's how the Ramadan started, man. Another Muslim, man, that I'm sitting up there trying to be there for, where my presence is definitely needed, but it isn't wanted, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. And I'm there for them. It's crazy, man. But Qadr of Allah, masha fa'al. But just looking at everything, man, and it just made me picture myself. Try to picture yourself, man, as a Muslim, man. Because like I'm reading these books from the Salaf, man, just try to picture yourself in the hellfire, man, with some of the most severe punishments. When you read the Quran, the punishments in the Quran and the hellfire, the punishments from the Hadith, getting your mouth ripped open. All your entrails coming all the way out your backside while you running around, while it's just getting burnt on a fire, dragging on the ground, getting dragged on your face. Not just on a regular street or regular gravel, in the hellfire. Picture that for yourself, man. Picture that for yourself. Picture being burnt up until your skin and bones and guts and everything just disintegrates and then form right back up, and you keep burning, or just continuously burn without going out, and you don't pass out and you don't die. Just imagine, picture yourself in that, man. Picture yourself in it. And if you don't tighten up, I don't know what to tell you, man. It made me picture myself in the hellfire, man. You know what I'm saying? And I went to sleep last night, man, listening to the, after I did my little stuff, man, I actually went to sleep first, and then I woke up and did my little Tarweeh, right? But I have been listening to the Quran, man, on my phone right next to me. And it was like, man, it put me in a sleep so deep, man. Even after I prayed and I woke up, like I'm talking about, it put me in a deep sleep. A deep sleep. And then when I woke up, it just popped in my head. Matter of fact, it woke me up. Your presence is needed, but it's not wanted, man. And with the same situation, what I'm telling y'all about, where this person, man, is ripping this person off, I got to get up to come meet some people to do some work for this other person, and they ain't even show up, man. They never showed up. And they ripping the person off. And I'm sitting up saying, why you keep dealing with this person, man? And I'm finna watch them rip them off again. Why? Because they don't, it's something, they have some resentment when it comes to listening to me, man. Because as a youngster, I walked away from it all, man. And chose Islam, bro. But I love it, man. I love it. And no matter what type of material they have, no matter what type of houses they live in, no matter what type of money they have in their bank account, they don't have a level of peace like I do, man. No matter who I talk to, no matter who I be around. And some of them, I'm looking at them have the exact same struggles, man, that they done had from when I was a teenager, man. You know, you still can't figure it out. Because you still keep making the same them choices, man. Like I say, man, Allah Azza wa Jal, you know, you take certain things for granted, man. That guidance just not going to come, man. You're going to wander around and you'll enter a world of confusion, man. Just always confused, man. You know? And anytime a person fixed their mouth to say, I knew you was going to be the one to tell me what you telling me, man. Here you go, you doing this to me again. That's that guilt. Because you know you need to tighten up. But you just can't do it, man. Anyway, man, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.